Hey babes, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Brandy. I am the host of the Be Real Babe show. And today, you guys, it's time for some internet insanity Christmas edition. As you can see, if you've been here for a while, I have a different studio today. I thought I'd sit in front of the Christmas tree. And what's really funny right now is I have two different cameras. One camera looks like it's giving a stroke here, and one that doesn't. So if I have to record and post, if I have to post this with the full stroke version, I'm so sorry. Just turn off video and maybe just listen to audio for this episode. I thought this was going to be cute and now I'm second guessing it, but here it's good, there it's not. So let's see what the end result is. Thank you guys so much for always being patient with me and understanding how I'm just learning to do new things, from going from a podcaster on the Be Real Babe podcast to coming here for almost over a year now on YouTube doing the Be Real Babe show. So as mentioned, you guys, internet insanity, it is the last one before Christmas. If you're watching this live, it is Christmas Eve. I am so excited. As you can see, I'm pretty much Buddy the fucking elf. And so I am excited for this time, excited for family, some downtime, some reset, and get ready for the new year. So today, just like I did in the Keeping Up with Canada episode on Monday, I have got some Christmas stories and Christmas news themes for you that I found online. So one of them was an article that said Christmas headlines that you forgot. A bunch of crazy shit that has happened over the last years on Christmas Day or around that time. So we're going to go over that article. Then we're also going to go over an article that I stumbled across, which I thought was very interesting. It was a perspective of a Christmas picture and how heavy the moment was, but how the picture seems so light, and just understanding what people might be going through this holiday season. It was kind of sad, enlightening, beautiful, all those kind of things. So I wanted to share that to give a little perspective before we go into the Christmas season. And the final article we're going to talk about is kind of light and funny, where it's talking about how old tacky Christmas is making a comeback. And let me tell you, as a elder millennial loving the 90s, I cannot wait. I hope this is for real, even though I'm one of those people that says that and then I've got like this tree. But if you get closer to my tree, and maybe I'll add a video of all the fun Christmas ornaments that I have here. And you'll see that I do have a fun Christmas tree. It just also looks good, but I'm also very, very much looking for the tacky Christmas to come back. So if you're interested in listening to some Christmassy news, stick around and we'll jump right in. Okay, babes, as mentioned, we've got a bunch of different stories to talk about that are all Christmas themed, some uplifting, some beautiful, some sad, some behind the stories, but no pedophiles today. So that's super exciting because I feel like this show, that's all I talk about. So 2026, we're going to look at talking about other things, but there just seems to be so many creeps. So, as I was going through research for this episode, what to talk about, of course, I found a couple topics I wanted to talk about. I'm going to talk about next episode, but I thought, no, let's keep it Christmassy with this one and go through some things. So as I was researching this weekend, I stumbled across this article and I thought it was super interesting because it's things that have been happening over the years at Christmas time that we may have forgotten. But before we get into that, I also wanted to let you guys know that if you watch the podcast, and you probably already know this, but if you don't, I do have a podcast called the Be Real Babe podcast that is on Spotify, Apple, and Rumble. And this Friday, I had my OG co-host Hales on the show, and we talked about Reddit Christmas, am I the asshole, all those kind of things. So if you want to find a little bit more funny and light, and some of them are downright tragic Reddit stories, we have that on that episode there. And this one, I thought I'd keep the kind of theme and see what was going on. But since we had kind of interesting, funny, tragic, personal stories there, I thought, well, let's look at some news and some internet stuff. So let's start with this one. Wild Christmas headlines you may have forgotten about. So this was actually published December 24th, 2024, but it was just updated this October for the last Christmas. So while many of us are focused on celebrating the holiday on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, every so often, wild, wacky, and totally unexpected or weirdly entertaining stories make headlines as we're all busy unwrapping presents and sharing a meal with family and friends. Here are a few surprising and unexpected holiday news headlines from Christmases past. Christmas morning explosion rocks Nashville. Sometimes Christmas news is tragic and puzzling. America's Music City was the scene of a devastating and bizarre explosion early on Christmas morning 2020 when an RV exploded downtown. Prior to the blast, there was a recording warning from the RV that announced there would soon be an explosion. The warning was also accompanied by Petula Clark's song Downtown. Authorities evacuated the area. The blast was heard miles away, damaged numerous buildings, and injured at least 3 people. Killed in the blast was the bomber himself, Anthony Quinn Warner, 63, of Anactoc, Tennessee, who told neighbors before Christmas that I'm going to be so famous, Nashville will never forget me, according to CNN. This really bothers me. I've been listening to a lot of true crime, obviously, lately. If you've been around the show, you can obviously tell. And that's one thing that I cannot seem to fucking understand is all these people that want to be famous for doing absolutely horrendous things. Like, do you not understand that when people are remembered for this stuff, they're remembered to being absolute horrible human beings? It's not a good memory. It's not something that I think you'd want your legend to or be your I wouldn't think that's what you want to leave as your legacy personally, but that's something I never understood. And another person like that just confirms again, I don't understand. Bank robber throws cash in air shouting Merry Christmas. On Christmas Eve in 2019, it was reported that David Wayne Oliver robbed a Colorado bank only to throw all the stolen cash in the air while exclaiming Merry Christmas to those who happened to be bypassing at the opportune moment. The 65-year-old man was later arrested at a nearby Starbucks. Oh, darn. Well, thanks, David, for trying to do something. Again, when we talked about the Canada episode, I was talking about, again, is thievery good when you're doing something and helping others, or is it just all around bad? I'm not sure. You guys have to tell me your opinions or go to the episode and have a listen. Iraq makes Christmas Day a national holiday. What better day to pass a law recognizing Christmas as an official holiday than Christmas? That's exactly what happened in 2018 in Iraq when the country's cabinet approved a law to mark Christmas Day across the country. The cabinet voted on an amendment to the national holiday law in the country that Christmas Day is a holiday for all Iraqis, and not only for the Christian community, as it has been for decades, CNN reported. Happy Christmas to our Christian citizens, all Iraqis, and to all who are celebrating around the world, the Iraqi government said on Twitter. That's cool. I didn't know that. So, Merry Christmas and Christmas season to those in Iraq that celebrate this holiday. Women arrested for stabbing husband with ceramic squirrel. Okay, we're getting a little bit dark. What's new? A South Carolina woman who didn't get her beer fix on Christmas morning apparently lost her patience and stabbed her husband with a ceramic squirrel in 2013. The 44-year-old woman, Helen Williams, was later charged with domestic violence of a high and aggravated nature, according to jail records and a TV news report. Williams attacked the 41-year-old husband when he returned home without beer, at which point she grabbed a ceramic squirrel and hit him over the head and then stabbed him in the shoulder and chest. Like I said on the Christmas Reddit episode, like, why Christmas? Why do you have to ruin Christmas? Like, not saying that murdering people on any day or did he die? Oh, for stabbing. He sounds like he didn't die. Well, thank goodness, but that's absolutely fucking wild. Yeah, it didn't say to death, so my apologies. But like, there's got to be other ways to communicate that. And don't think stabbing someone in the shoulder or the chest with a ceramic squirrel is the way to get your point across. But again, why ruin people's Christmases? Can you wait till like Boxing Day or something? I'm just kidding. Like, don't do that at all. But why do we do shit around Christmas? Couple arrest in Christmas Day brawl over video game. File this one under be careful what you buy your loved ones for Christmas. On Christmas Day in 2008, a New Hampshire couple got into an all-out brawl over some major gift disappointment. Keith Bloom, 26, and his girlfriend Randy Young, 24, came to blows when Bloom became disappointed over not getting the present he really, really wanted. Keith Bloom wanted a remote control airplane for Christmas and not the Wii. Portsmouth Police Sergeant Cuffer Cattleborn said Bloom and Young, both bruised from the fight, were arrested and slapped with a misdemeanor charge of domestic-related simple assault. What the actual fuck? Hold on, let me rewind here. Okay, so first of all, why are you touching your girlfriend? Should never touch your girlfriend for any reason. Ridiculous because it wasn't what you wanted, because A, you can return stuff and exchange them, and B, you're given a gift. If you want something you didn't get, then go fucking buy it for yourself. Just a thought, but disgusting. I obviously only know very small details, so I could be missing a bunch, but I do not believe at any point in time does it an excuse anybody to put hands on anybody else unless it's in self-defense. And because you didn't get a Christmas ain't a fucking reason. So there's a lot of stories, a lot of these stories that we can like kind of learn from. And I'm not saying this a specific one and that communication would have fixed this, but a lot of stories that we were reading in that last episode and this episode, a lot of it boils down to communication, right? You know, like when someone's buying you a gift, they're usually buying it and thinking that they know you. And if you feel like that didn't transpire one year, then maybe help talk to them next year about things that you like. But it's not a point to hit people, hurt people, or murder people, okay? Just because you don't like your Christmas. That's absolutely fucking insane. Like, sure, I'm sure you could be disappointed, but if it's something that you want, you didn't get a Christmas, then again, buy it for yourself. Ask for an exchange if that's really that important, or just be fucking thankful anybody got you a gift. That's where I come from, but hey, I digress. Jerry Seinfeld announces namesake sitcom will end. Now, personally, and I might get hated for this, but I have never been a Seinfeld fan. To be honest, I believe it's coming back to Netflix, and I might start watching it just to see now if I'm an adult that I would think it's funny, but I was a very young teenager when this show came out, and I was really obsessed with Friends, and I just thought it was the stupidest fucking show ever. There was some moments that I liked, but I really didn't like George, so really couldn't watch the show. But maybe as an adult, so I might watch it, so don't come and hate me. But at the current time, as an elder millennial going through this as a teenager, I was like, this isn't funny. Why are people watching this? This is stupid. Much to dismay of millions of fans worldwide, Jerry Seinfeld announced on Christmas Day 1997 that his wildly popular television comedy would be coming to an end. I wanted to end the show on the same kind of peak we've been doing it on for years, Seinfeld said at the time. I wanted to end it from a point of strength. I wanted to end the end to be graceful. Yes, the end of the most popular show in the 1990s may have been graceful, but its departure also left a giant hole in many hearts. See, and that's how I feel about Friends, right? So I can get it. I can understand people feeling that way for Seinfeld, but I definitely didn't feel that way. I was like, oh, finally, thank God, maybe something better can come up. But again, I was young when this came out. I was really into Friends. I was biased for that show, so I will watch it again. But anyways, those are some things that happened on Canada's past. And again, as I was going through these, trying to figure out some stories, I came across this article that kept popping up. And because dementia is something that is very important to speak about in my life personally, because it affects me personally, I thought that this it's a sad story. It's a beautiful story. It's a story of understanding in different chapters in people's lives. And I think that a lot of people are going to relate, even if they don't relate to the illness and the disease of dementia. I think people will understand at Christmas time, things are heavy. A lot of the times people are putting on a fake smile. At the same time, this kind of shows where you just kind of want to be grateful for every single Christmas you have before those ones change. Now, you cannot predict when your life is going to change and when things are going to happen. People's lives change every moment. So I think if every Christmas that you can come up to a holiday that's important to you, to try and make sure to be very grateful in the moment, to maybe put some differences aside and come together. And that's just my opinion. You do not have to do what I say. That's just my opinion from my past, my experiences. You don't have to do the same way. That's just how I personally feel. But let's read the story to see what I'm talking about, and then we'll end with the fun of 90s Christmas coming back. The story behind a Christmas selfie that wasn't so merry. So this was posted 14 hours ago. Wendy realized some photos lie as she looked back on last year's Christmas pictures, snapshot that masked the emotional toll of caring for someone with dementia. What is the saying? A picture is worth 1,000 words? Sometimes, though, the photo lies. I have shared in past columns about my family's journey with dementia. We lost my brother-in-law to the disease not quite a year ago. This will be the first Christmas where his recliner sits empty except for one of the 5 cats. Sentimentality has me reviewing all the photos we took last year. I am someone who documents everything. I don't necessarily share the really heartbreaking photos, but I do want to have the good, the bad, the ugly to recall the reality. I happen to think it's important and maybe even helpful to look back on some of the funny experiences that come with caring for an Alzheimer's patient, but also to remind us how desperate things seem to be at times. That brings me to my favorite photograph. It's a selfie of my sister and me in front of the seat of the car, and my brother-in-law Doug peeking his head up between us from the back seat, smiling and waving. It isn't centered, the lighting's not great. None of us at least look a bit filtered, but the feelings behind that particular shot resonate with me every time I look at it. The story behind it is that I begged and pleaded as the always needy little sister to go driving around and see the Christmas lights. I always loved that tradition. Turn on the holiday music in the car, grab a hot chocolate, and just start meandering around the neighborhoods. As I recall, I was the only one who wanted to do it, and I understood why as we started out. First, getting someone who couldn't really dress himself anymore into socks, boots, scarves, coat, and gloves is not an easy feat. It's not that he was fighting us, but rather he just didn't know how to help, and then his balance was off a bit. Once in the car, we wrestled with the seatbelt. We each got hot chocolate, which we promptly spilled all over the seat, not a holly jolly start. We forged on. We oohed and awed at the shimmering spectacle. Doug never raised his head to look out the window. He was fixated on his zipper of his jacket and a piece of lint he saw on the sleeve. It was reminiscent of the years that our parents had took us on summer road tours, and I laid down in the back seat. I was singing to myself or playing a game, and my mom would call out, "Sit up, you're missing the scenery." To which my preteen snarky self replied, "You've seen one tree, you've seen them all." This was a lot like Doug. He was not interested. Maybe the bright flashing lights were confusing to him, and maybe he couldn't really see it well at night. I don't know. I just know that he was not engaged, and we were growing frustrated. About half an hour in, we turned around and called it a night. All that to say, once we pulled into the driveway at home, I pulled out my phone like a petulant child, and I remember saying, "I don't care how miserable we all are right now. We are taking a family selfie for posterity, so smile." And that is the true story that appears to show the happiest trio in all of Christmas Town. All that to say, we really can't force joy on anyone. Try as we might, it is not possible to hold on to the past and traditions that used to mean so much. We have to meet people where they are, especially if they are ill. You'll have to pivot or give some up. The picture reminds me that while we may not have succeeded, at least we were all three still trying to make the best of a losing battle. So just remember that during this holiday season, there may be more behind someone's smiles than meets the eye. I thought this was a beautiful thing because, as again, people don't actually talk about it, and I really think they should. It doesn't say who the author of this article is. It's from midlandtoday.ca. But understanding what that's coming through, whether you're someone that is ill, hopefully that people afford the grace of understanding what it's like to be someone with a full-time illness, mental illness, physical autoimmune disorders where they can't eat properly, or maybe it's an overstimulating thing. And I know a lot of people don't understand, and I know sometimes it's frustrating, and because you don't understand, because you don't relate, and I can understand both sides. But I think as long as we leave with some compassion and loving, because Christmas is what you make it, traditions are what you make it. And I know a lot of people get upset and hold on to those. I'm a very traditional girly. Trust, my first one, Christmas away from home, it was not fun. It took me a long time to build my own new traditions and be excited for that. So I totally get it. But it does make the situation worse sometimes when you're getting frustrated with the person that's ill, especially something with a like degenerative mind, a degenerative brain disease. Those ones are very hard, right? And they want to help, they want to be there. It's overstimulating. So I understand that it's super, it can be super frustrating and sad because a part of you feels like you've lost that part in that tradition. But again, like the article said, meet them where they're at. At the same time, I think it's beautiful to think you have those times together, right? Because unfortunately, Doug didn't make it to this Christmas. And as much as that was hard, I bet looking back now, they're really grateful that they went and did that, even though that might have not been the best. At least they had that final memory together. So RIP, Doug. I'm so, so sorry for your family of this loss. And I can understand reflecting on that and having all the different emotions. And I think that's all that we can do, right? So another thing to pull out of that is always document, right? I think that I don't know where we came from I come from a time where we just took pictures and we didn't have to post them on social media. We just had them for ourselves. And I don't know why we can't go back to that. You can post stuff, absolutely. But how many things do we just leave in the drafts, right? So take them, but just leave them in the drafts. Leave them for yourself, because you just never know when you're not going to have that person with you, or they might not be cognitive or able to. And it's so great when they're gone or going through it to have those memories together. Just my personal take. But anyway, so I thought that was something that I'm sure a lot of people are relating this holiday season, of having someone that's ill or in the hospital or going through something, understanding that grace is going to be the best gift you can give them this holiday season, and then grace for yourselves if you are one of those people, and honest, true communications for all of it. Okay, now let's go to the last article. That's kind of fun and exciting because I'm excited about this and I just wanted to keep it light, and it's Christmas Eve. What the fuck are we still doing here, right? So last article, maxing out on tinsel, why retro Christmas decorations are cool again, 24 hours ago. Tinsel foil garlands, multicolor floral lights, and a lounge that looks like Christmas threw up all over it is making a return. Retro-themed decor is in, with trees jam-packed full of bold, mismatching decorations as people try to recreate a festive season from their childhood. The nostalgic shift started last year, says experts, but over the top and tacky has become one of the top decor trends of 2025. After a long run After a long run of pared back, neutral, and traditional Christmases, people seem much more willing to embrace fun, excess, and nostalgia again, says Harry Bradshaw from events and interior styling company At Last Events. Retailers say they're seeing a growing demand for decorations that can help recreate that familiar Christmas magic from years gone by. Maximalist is making a bold return, said Abby Wilson, head of seasonal and gift buying at Habitat, adding that people are turning to 80s and 90s style, colorful bells and bows, oversized ornaments, and paper decorations. Oversized. Yes, we still love it. We didn't get over that. Primark said young Gen X millennials and older Gen Z shoppers were buying decor that reminded them of their childhood. Marks and Spencer's noted strong sales of its tinsel rosettes and tinsel tree skirts this year, while John Lewis said sales of retro nostalgic decor had soared 180%. I don't think you're going to be able to see it now. I'll show my retro one that I bought this year, so can confirm. Felicity Hayward is going all out this year to find that Christmas joy. Back in October, as she browsed the charity shops nearby where she lived in Margate, Kent, she stumbled across a collection of colorful festive foil stars that reminded her of her Christmas at her grandparents' house, when she was a child. The 50p decorations started what became a 2-month endeavor looking for retro bulbs, garlands, and anything she could find to recreate those special years growing up in the 90s. Christmas was always revolved around my grandparents, Felicity 37 says. The family would spend the day eating homemade cheese straws, listening to Frank Sinatra, watching Christmas movies, and playing board games. When I think back to Christmas, I think to the living room and I think back to their decorations. This is completely how I feel. This is completely what I still do. Christmas Day, I am from a divorce again family. So up until I was about 20 years old and moved away, my Christmases were jam packed. Go, 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 go all the time. Now I have a completely different Christmas. Me and my spouse wake up with our animals. It's just us. We have breakfast. We open the presents. We take our time. We eat some more food. We go to the gym. We come back. We eat more food. We prep the turkey. Usually poke around our presents. Then we're making dinner, Christmas dinner, watching Christmas movies. And then we have Christmas dinner. We'll play games, have some few drinks, eat more food. Literally love it. It's my favorite time of year for a couple days where we slow down and just enjoy everything. It's too cold to really do much. We might go up to the mountain, look at stuff. We might go outside a little bit, but just quiet with us and the babies, And I definitely feel that pull for retro. Felicity hasn't bothered with any Christmas decorations since 2019. The combination of the pandemic and her grandparents' death in 2022 and 2023 had left her feeling far from festive. But this year, her living room is an explosion of color, bedecked with foil stars, tinsel, and homemade paper chains and ribbon garlands. Some people might see her decorations as tacky, but Felicity said that for me and all of the colors bring me calm. I literally cannot wait to get home on a night and turn all the Christmas lights on and lie on the sofa, she said. Can attest to that, girly, because I have been living in this living room for the last couple of nights waiting for my spouse to come home, which as I'm airing this, he is home for Christmas. But it's just been so cozy in here, turning all the lights out, falling asleep to Christmas movies and to the Christmas lights and all the cats down here, and it's cozy and it's cold outside. I absolutely love it. So again, guys, thank you so much. I've been listening till the end. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, or whatever you celebrate. If you don't, I just hope that you enjoy these last couple of weeks. I will be having one more episode before the end of 2025, and then I will be here for a couple of weeks in 2026, and then you'll be seeing all of the episodes that are on the podcast. If you haven't watched them already, will be airing in the break that I take off of YouTube. Reset, come back with a new season in March. I'm super, super excited. But as always, guys, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Until next time, bye.